with our chief White House correspondent, Jon Karl, right here, our chief political analyst, Matthew Dowd, as well. And, John, let me begin with you in these protests. You see the president's opponents trying to push several different levers. You have the protests, you have new lawsuits about his tax returns, you have Democrats in the Senate saying they want to make this part of the tax reform debate.
Yeah, a big effort to try to compel the president to release his taxes through Congress. And, George, that's not going to work as long as you have Republicans controlling Congress. But what I do see happening is more Republicans saying that they would be willing to support a bill that would say that the next president of the United States would need to be compelled to release his taxes.
And you've got some states considering bills like that as well. Matthew Dowd, meanwhile, the resistance also going to face a real test tomorrow, a key special election in Georgia to fill the seat of former Congressman Tom Price, who now runs health care for the president.
Well, yeah, and we've had one already, George, as you know, the special election in Kansas, so the Republican won. The Democrat overperformed by 20 points in a district that is very Republican. It was a canary in a coal mine that the Republicans needed to beware. But Georgia is probably going to be a big crack in the dam because right now the Democrat is heavily ahead. The question is, can he win it without a runoff? If a Democrat wins that district in Georgia, then there's a real chance that Democrats could take back Congress in 2018.
John, I don't know if the president was watching, but safe to say he would disagree with Matt's analysis of Kansas. He put out a tweet yesterday saying the recent Kansas election Congress was a really big media event until the Republicans won. Now they play the same game with Georgia. Bad.
But there is a fact here. Trump carried that district in Kansas by 27 points. The Republican won by only 6 points. Now, it was a victory for the Republicans, but it was a scare, and the Democrats didn't invest in that race. This Georgia race is critical because it is, we're a long way from the midterm elections. But if the Democrats can win that, that is the kind of race they need to win to retake Congress. It's an indicator they could. But the flip side is also true. If they can't win in Georgia, it's a Republican district, but it's a more narrowly Republican district, then they're going to have a tough time winning control of Congress.
And, Matt, meantime, this all comes up against the backdrop of these foreign crises. You've seen the strike on Syria, that strike on Afghanistan as well, and the saber rattling with Korea.
Well, yeah, and the interesting thing, they haven't seemed to have affected Donald Trump's approval ratings in the country. Within the first days after inauguration, he had a majority of the country disapproving of him. Today, even after all these actions that he's taken, a majority of the country still disapproves. What's happening is the country is seeing these actions in a prism from their own viewpoint. People that don't like Donald Trump see them as erratic and dangerous. People that like Donald Trump see them as strong and decisive. But everybody, I think, is waiting for what is the fundamental foreign policy strategy.
It does seem to have brought more organization to the core of the White House, though.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, George, these events that we see playing out now on the international stage will do more, or could do more, to define the Trump presidency than any of the other controversy, any of his domestic agenda. This is the real test of his presidency.
Happens to almost every president. Jon Karl, thanks very much.